How's it going, everybody? Evan from I Quit My Band, back in the reaction zone again. This time doing a listen through of the new surprise release album from Snocaps. Snocaps is a new band comprised of MJ Lenderman, Brad Cook, and the Crutchfield sisters. I had no idea that this was coming out. I'm not sure if anybody did. If you watch the show, you know that Nate and I are big Lenderman heads. Manning Fireworks is my favorite album of last year. I think it was number 2 for Nate. JJ, he's a little more Lenderman skeptical, but that's fine. That's what you come to IQMB for, the diversity of opinions, the diversity of bad opinions. So I wanted to check it out because of MJ Lenderman, but I'm also a big fan of Katie and Allison Crutchfield. I really like their first band, PS Eliot, which they were in together. Their first album, particularly Introverted Romance in Our Troubled Minds. Great songs off that. Tennessee, incoherent love songs. And then Katie went on to do Waxahatchee, which I think I like the early Waxahatchee records better, like American Weekend, Cerulean Salt, Ivy Trip. Probably the songwriting is better on stuff like St. Cloud and Tiger Blood, but I just prefer the stuff with the fuzzy guitars. That's always going to be my note, no matter what it is. That was good, but could have used some fuzzy guitars. That was a heartwarming eulogy you just performed, but could have used a couple riffs in there while you were talking about how great Grandpa was. I also liked the stuff that Allison did, especially Swearin. I like their self-titled a lot. Kenosha, great song. Movie Star, fucking banger. So I'm excited to listen to this. I would say if I had a hope, it would be that Allison's inclusion in the songwriting would pull the stuff a little more punk than what Katie's been doing more recently. So here we go. Let's give it a listen. This is Snocaps off their self-titled record. This is the first track, Coast. Drum machine here to start.
Close your eyes in the passenger seat for me to be.
Yeah. I really like this already. Kind of hear the MJ Lenderman. I imagine that's him on guitar. He has like really sneaky Guitar Hero chops. It's really tasteful, bluegrassy kind of stuff. God, their voices sound so good together. Yeah, this is pretty much exactly what I wanted it to sound like so far. Like driving, punky bass, a little bit of edge on those guitars. God, I like that like little break. Hell yeah. I'd say 1 for 1. That was awesome. That was kind of exactly what I was hoping for. There was like part of it that kind of felt like it wouldn't have been out of place on a PS Eliot record or one of the early Waxahatchee records. But it did feel like the inclusion of like the MJ Lenderman sort of twangy guitar brought it closer to the stuff that Katie and MJ are doing now. And the vocals were great. Really catchy melodies, like immediately catchy as soon as that bass line comes in, and then building up with the drums. And those two harmonizing together is like Xeroxing the same voice, but there's just enough difference in there that, you know, it doesn't sound like a vocal double. It just sounds like this really pretty duo. Let's check out the second song, Heathcliff. I went to a Halloween party at Nate's house, and one of my buddies was dressed as Garfield, and I kept calling him Heathcliff because I always thought Heathcliff was like the knockoff, like dollar store version of Garfield. But we did a Google search. Heathcliff like wore a leather jacket. Like Heathcliff looked like a badass. I think it's actually Garfield who sucks.
Back, I don't miss you. I don't think about us. It might be
Yeah, this reminds me so much of P.S. Eliot and early Waxahatchee.
traffic, nailing up the pin and I'm working your name into. You go down, you take me down with you. When you go down, you take me down with
Yeah, I love this hook. Just super simple, super catchy. And the harmony sounds great.
I see you in infrared vision. When you move around, I know just what I'm missing. You take
Yeah, it just sounds like a cleaned up, maybe a little less fuzzy version of PS Eliot, and it's what I'm looking for, at least. Yeah, I already have this hook stuck in my head. Really good stuff. Hell yeah. Yeah, I really like that. That, like, when you go down and take you down with you. That's a great hook. And I really like how this is sounding so far. At least so far, I'm not hearing a ton of, like, MJ Lenderman influence outside of maybe some of the guitar playing. I don't know if he had a hand in writing any of these songs or if these are just songs written by the Crutchfield sisters. That's the way it's feeling so far. Got no problem with it. And so far, I've really liked both of those songs. So we're going to move on to number 3, Wasteland. Let's give it a listen.
Take a wrong turn somewhere, call you Sunday, say I'm losing it, I'm running hot on
All right,
empty.
we're in Americana land.
Willful bottom line. Gave it everything I had. I am
Yeah, this already sounds like something that would have been on the last 2 Waxahatchee records. It's like, for as much as St. Cloud and Tiger's Blood may not be just personally my jam, like the type of stuff I like to hear, she's really fucking good at it. Really pretty, super catchy. I mean, there's a lot of like indie bands going Americana, and she's the one I think that does it the best, in my opinion. Plus, they're from Alabama. You earned it. It's not like you're from Philly and putting on a fucking cowboy hat. Little Lenderman there.
Take a second, honey. Think about it. We are beautiful tears.
That was really good. Just another really well-written, catchy song. Like I said, I think that feels like it could have easily been on St. Cloud or Tiger's Blood. It didn't really sound super produced. Like, it sounded good, but it did kind of just sound like a band getting together and figuring out that arrangement. It's not like super ornate. There's not a ton of stuff going on. It just kind of feels like a session band getting in there, banging out a track, but like really well done. Great melodies, great hooks, really good song structures. Like, they're simple singer-songwriter songs, but just the falls and the lifts and the dynamics that they're able to find within there, like, just really satisfying. Every time that hook came back in a different way each time that they did it, all 3 times, and it just the payoff kept getting better and better. Just really good songwriting. All right, we're 3 for 3, dude. Snocaps, new favorite band, Snocaps. I was on ground floor on Snocaps. Next song, track 4, Brand New City. More like brand new band, Snocaps, right? Because they're new. All right, feels like we're still in Americana land, but I'll take it. A little more straightforward this time. That was a weird little turnaround. Like, felt like they were building up to another section, then they just kind of went back to the verse that they were already playing. Not as many dynamics or changes going on in this song. It's a little more straightforward. Still catchy, still good melodies, but that turnaround's weird to me. Like, feels like it's about to like go somewhere different, and it just kind of lets right back to the verse. See if they do something different with it this time. No, it's just the song. Okay. Yeah, I think that was still a good song. I think it's maybe a little less interesting than the first 3. We kind of stayed into that one part with like just like a little chord turnaround. Melodies were still good. Their voices together sound great. They sound so much alike that so far I can't tell who is singing what. I would imagine the songs that sound more like Swearin songs are Allison, and the songs that sound more like Waxahatchee are Katie, but that's my best guess. Yeah, so I like that song. I don't know if it's quite as dynamic as the ones that preceded it, but certainly not a bad song. So we're moving on to 5. This is Hide. Dropping it down a little bit. Some acoustic. Oh, I like that. I really like the vibe so far. Just that, like, the acoustic guitar with that spacey sort of twangy guitar. And her voice sounds great. Sounds like there's another guitar just like feeding back. That's really cool. I'm getting like a little Springsteen in this for some reason. I don't know if it's just like the nature of the melody. Like something off Nebraska if it was recorded better. Yeah, I really like this like whispery section and then her coming over top of it with the hide. Damn, I really like this. I like how much just atmosphere and space they're able to create with like very minimal pieces. Hell yeah. I love that. It's definitely the prettiest thing on the record so far. And yeah, I just loved everything about that track. So far, what I really like that I'm hearing is that it's not an overproduced album, but it's a well-produced album. That song was really impressive from a production standpoint because it feels like there's so much going on, but it's just like a few really well-chosen elements, like the acoustic guitar, the other guitar kind of giving you that spacey sort of vibe, and then their voices. And that's all you need to make something that feels like atmospheric and huge. I don't know if it's my favorite so far. Coast was pretty fucking awesome, but Hide is definitely the one that I wouldn't have expected there to be something like that on the record. All right, we're moving on. We're going on to track 6. This is Cherry Hard Candy. Let's go. Still got some of that Americana twang. A little punchier. I'm in. Man, like each melody in this song is better than the last one. And it starts off great. I like this. Yeah, hell yeah. And they've been harmonizing this entire song, and it's so tight. It's that twin shit, dude. God, that chorus is so fucking catchy. Yeah, another really, really good song. I think that's probably the catchiest thing that I've heard so far. It still had a bit of the Americana vibe, like the later Waxahatchee records, but I liked how it was punchy, and just that melody is like, the verse melody is super catchy, and then the chorus is somehow even catchier than that. And catchy with like a lot of words in it. Like some of the other ones that were catchy, like Heathcliff, you know, they just repeat the same thing over and over again. It's a little easier to like get a hook in your listener by keeping it simple. But that one, like, I'm going to have to listen to that 10 times to even know what the hell they're saying. But goddamn, it's immediately stuck in your head. That was just such a fun-ass song to listen to. I felt like I was at like a county fair or something, just running around eating funnel cake. That might be my favorite one so far. I mean, Coast was great. Hide was great in its own way. But that was just like 2 minutes and 40 seconds of like pop songwriting perfection. I end up going back to the newer Waxahatchee records less, just because Americana is less my vibe than like the punkier, indie ones from like her early releases. But she's fucking good at it. Like, I think she did kind of find her lane songwriting wise, because as good as the stuff on Ivy Trip and Cerulean Salt are, there's nothing that is like as catchy and like pitch perfect as Cherry Hard Candy was. So far, I'm really digging this record. But we're going to move on. We're going to go to track 7. This is Avalanche. God, what does that remind me of? That's going to torture me all song. I like switching to the toms here, giving a little more space for their voices. God, what is that? She's So High Above Me? Is that what I'm hearing a little bit of? Like, the music's really straightforward, but they're doing a good job with the melodies, switching it up, like going up high, going low. And the harmony is, like, again, just insanely good. I think it's So High Above Me. I have not heard that song in a very long time. I have not been to JCPenney's in a while, but that does kind of feel like maybe that's what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, I think I feel pretty similar to that one that I did Brand New City, where it's a little more straightforward from a songwriting approach. They come in with like higher energy, kind of stick at that higher energy. And, you know, when you do that, it's like there's not a ton of places to go. I do like that they drop down to the toms in the pre-chorus, or I guess that's the chorus, to give the voices a little more space, to give the parts a little more differentiation. Not a bad song, but compared to the best stuff that we've heard so far, yeah, it's okay. But that is killing me, whatever that song was. Let's see if it is She's So High Above Me. I think it is. I think it's Tal Bachman. This is the scientific research you've come to know and expect from IQMB. All right, so this is the beginning of Avalanche. Here's Tal Bachman, She's So High. Okay, maybe not at all, but we used to be a fucking country. Do you understand me? It's October 2025. Who's still here and loving this song? Me. Moving on, next track, Doom. Starting off pretty sparse. Just a guitar, a couple vocals, some floor tom. Really like this chord progression. It kind of reminds me of maybe something from a Waxahatchee record, or it's also like the big chord progression that like half of the great songs have. I like how they're doing that with the vocals, like having one of them sing and then for the back half of the verse, having the harmony. That's really good. Yeah, I love the phrasing and the note choice in there. That's great. There's something a little familiar about it, but it is really pretty. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's a little more sparse than some of the other songs on the record so far. There's something familiar about the chorus. I did really like it, but I can't place it if it reminded me of like a specific Waxahatchee song, or it's just one of those chord progressions that are in like a ton of songs. Like I think it's like the G, D, E minor, C, and it's used really well. Like the way that the vocal shifts, like you get like half of the chorus is sang one way, and then like the payoff in that second half of the chorus where she's switching it up a bit. Really pretty. All right, moving on to track 9. This is Over Our Heads. Drum machine's back. Oh, okay. Real drums. Like the chord progression a lot. Like how loud that fucking lead guitar is too. This one kind of feels like the most melding of the worlds, like the Swearin, PS Eliot world, and the MJ Lenderman, later Waxahatchee world. Has that like driving bass line, the 16 notes on the hi-hat, but all this like twangy guitar shit. It's cool. That guitar is loud. Kind of an odd choice to have the guitar that loud. It's more in the background on some of the other songs, but I do like it. Yeah, it's like MJ Lenderman just refused to learn the power chords. He's like, nah, I think I'm gonna shred over this. The whole thing. I like that. That was cool. That felt like the mix of everything that they've done so far. Like some of the earlier, punkier, indie-inspired stuff, and then some of like the more Americana stuff blended together. And the way they did it was kind of cool. Like not really having a rhythm guitar, you know, having the bass play pretty much all of the rhythm, and everything the guitar is doing is just like lead and color. Interesting choice. And then really, really good melodies. And I like that like break they do at the chorus, like having the drums drop out into single hits and then right back to the 16 notes on the hi-hat. It was cool. For a short little song, that was like a nice little change of pace in the track listing. I dug it. All right, we're moving on. This is track 10, Angel Wings, which I have tattooed on my shoulder blades.
I ride down 29 by delight in the spectrum of this yearning. Whoa, think about it often, let it hang around.
Yeah, this is we're definitely back in like Tiger Blood land. Not complaining. God damn. I mean, the harmonies throughout on the record have sounded great, but this might be the prettiest they've sound yet. Yeah, this chorus is really, really good. Love this chorus. I like that, like, think about it often. It's not, I'm expecting the vocal pattern to be different than that. It catches you off guard a little bit. Yeah, these harmonies are unbelievable. That was really good. Out of the songs that sound just kind of like new Waxahatchee songs, that might be my favorite. Wasteland was pretty good, though. What I'm liking so far about the record is that it does just sound like a band. It doesn't sound like a really overthought studio project. It sounds like players in a room, like Nashville style, just like, okay, here's the track, here's your part, here's your part, here's your part. We're going to get the track down, and then we sing over top of it. That's pretty cool, especially with these people with what they have to their disposal to like just get in there and bang out some really well-written songs. I really like that about this project so far. Moving on, we're going to track 11. I don't want to, but I do want to. Listen to this song. I already love how this sounds. This sounds like Waxahatchee's first record, American Weekend, and I love that record. I love this. Chord progression sounds great. Their voices sound great. I like how kind of lo-fi it sounds compared to everything on the record. That's cool. Just a little bit of atmosphere with that guitar. All right, building up on the bass drum. God, that's really good. Their voices sound great. I love that vocal layer. That sounds so good. I really like that. That reminded me so much of Waxahatchee's first record, American Weekend, which is like it's It's like super lo-fi. I'm pretty sure she recorded it all herself in like a cabin. The closer off that album, Nokalua, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but here's how it's spelled. Is one of my favorite songs that she's ever written. And I like the little subtle things they do towards the end just to give it a little more like emotion and drama, like the way that the guitar comes in, putting through that atmosphere, and then the bass drum, just kind of like this really light heartbeat, just adds a little more tension to the end. And then the way that they were layering their vocals, and like there was a harmony over here, and then like a call and response thing, that was great. All right, we're getting down to the last 2 tracks. We have You in Rehab. Let's go. All right. Like some like Marshall Crenshaw shit or something. I like this. Yeah, this feels like a spiritual successor to the PS Eliot stuff big time. God damn. Really catchy song for talking about a guy in rehab. Definitely has a little bit more of that like pop punk PS Eliot vibe, which I like a lot. And I like what the lead guitar is doing. Just adding a different color than you would have gotten on some of the PS Eliot stuff. I think out of the more rockin' songs, that was probably the catchiest. The Cherry Hard Candy, I think, is the catchiest song on the record, but that still had a little more of like the Americana twang. That stuff, You in Rehab reminds me a lot more of Waxahatchee and PS Eliot, and just like the bass line, the drum groove, and then the vocal melody is like instantly catchy. We're moving to the closer, which is only 36 seconds long, called Coast 2, the sequel to the album opener. Let's give it a listen. Hell yeah. Putting the cell phone demo of the opener as the closer of the album. I like it. A lot of birds. Sounds almost like it may have been performed in an aviary. Okay, I think I like the first Coast better, if I'm being honest. Not a bad way to close the record. I don't think that there's like an obvious closer in the track listing. Maybe Hide or I Don't Want To could be a nice closer, like going off on like that downbeat note. But overall, I think it's a pretty well sequenced record. It doesn't feel like that type of record that really needs a dramatic closer. It does kind of feel just like a collection of really good songs. That was pretty great. Like, not a bad song on that whole record, and a couple songs that I already can't wait to listen to again. Really well produced, not overthought at all. I think that like the economy of these songs is what I found really impressive. This sounds like a project that felt pretty like effortless for everyone involved, and it's excellent. I'd highly recommend this. I think this is easy in the hell yeah, especially if you're into this type of music. I don't know, like, you know, if you came to our channel because we listened to like Chat Pile, I don't know if this will be for you. But if you like MJ Lenderman, if you like Waxahatchee, or, you know, indie songwriter stuff in general, this is a really, really good record. Easy hell yeah for me, and what a great Halloween surprise. What did you think of the new Snocaps record? Let me know in the comments below. This is Evan from I Quit My Band. I'll see you next time.